Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paolo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Z Herbacho. In tonight's game plan, we'll talk hoops and hits, starting with our coverage on the UAAP Women's Volleyball Tournament.
Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. We are a little over a week away from ending the elimination round of the UAAP, which means teams need to secure their postseason tickets. Now, joining us to look into the future of the UAAP Season 85 Women's Volleyball Final Four is UAAP analyst Jamie La Victoria. Jamie, how are you?
Hello,
James.
Hi, guys.
Can I just say, do you know why she's nervous?
Why?
May prediction
Because
siya.
ikaw.
No, not just because of me, but yes. But kasi may prediction
Oh, no.
siya
So
on
you
the
guys-
Final Four.
guys-
Mamaya na yan.
All the way to the end.
Mamaya na yan.
Before that,
I'm ready.
Let's bring out the standings here because obviously there was a big win when you talk about LaSalle against Adamson. You see the Final Four picture already shaping up here. FU with a very outside chance. What did you make of that game between LaSalle and Adamson?
Well, when you look at those two teams, they're both fully equipped. So, you know, if you try to make that prediction in advance on who might win, you can't really. It's not like that anymore where it's very obvious who's going to win a match. But with the two teams, it's an even matchup. But with LaSalle, they attack when Adamson is slowly losing their momentum. And Mars Alba knows when to attack and knows who to set the right person at the right time.
all right, we saw the standings earlier, and we got NU UST tied with an 8-3 record, and Adamson with 8-4. So basically, there's still a triple tie, and there's an available seat for the twice to beat advantage in the semifinals. What do you make of this? Like, who do you feel has a little bit more advantage to get to that? Ito na, warm up na tayo.
Yeah. I like that.
I would have to say UST because normally in their previous seasons they peak towards the end of the first round, but now they're peaking at the right time. Aya Laura finally has help with all her other spikers, and the defense is there, so they're also fully equipped as well.
It's interesting because the remaining games of UST are not easy. They have FEU, right, Z?
Yes, not easy.
NU, and then UP to end it. And for NU, it's UE, UST, and Ateneo, and Adamson, it's UP and FEU. So let's see how they'll all develop there. But you want to highlight a couple of players from each of the teams here in the run-up to the Final Four. You mentioned Mars Alba a while ago for LaSalle. Why her?
Mars Alba not only allows her spikers to shine, but she's that leader on the court. She is the captain, and she's also graduating with Sila Jelena de la Cruz. So her leadership is very contagious on the court, and you can see that her younger spikers they have that good relationship. It's good to have that a solid foundation with the setter and spiker relationship.
Mars Alba with 6 points, 23 excellent sets last Wednesday against Adamson. Speaking of Adamson, you also listed in this list Louis Romero.
That's right. I want to talk about another setter who also allows her spikers to shine because, you know, her spikers have scored in double digits almost after each game, and just the confidence that she has and the maturity that she has, and she's so young. It's really nice to watch whenever I cover their games.
Number 1 in setting, number 9 in serving. You take a look at what Louis Romero has done. Were you basically surprised with what she's putting out in terms of, you know, the numbers that she has and the experience that she had going into this season?
Well, based off last year when they didn't reach the Final Four, I knew that they had to go back to the drawing board, and with Coach Jerry being there now, I think their foundation and their system is really doing justice for their team.
All right, we got 2 setters on your list, LaSalle, Adamson. Let's go to NU. We have Alyssa Solomon.
So she's currently the #1 spiker in the whole league, and when NU is having a rough patch, they go to Solomon right away, and she's the one who has that deadly kill. And her, if you take a look at her approach, it's not as explosive, but she has that heavy hand that you don't really know where she'll attack, if it's down the line or cross. And because she's so tall, she can have that last minute decision of doing a drop ball, and it's hard for the opponent to decipher where she'll go.
39.9% success rate in terms of spiking, and of course, number 7 in scoring, Eliza Solamon. I'm really curious to see how she elevates her game, especially come Final Four. You take a look at UST, Amy Hernandez was your choice.
That's right. In their last match against Ateneo, she scored 24 points, and as a middle blocker, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
And her blocking, right? If she's not there in the scoring department in terms of offense, she's there for the blocking, and she helps with the blocking for her liberos as well.
Yeah, you take a look at that. 19 attacks, 3 blocks, and 2 aces. A career high at that time for Amy Hernandez against Ateneo. You take a look at what is set up to be a very interesting run-in going to the Final Four. Just where do you think Amy Hernandez takes her game, considering the gravity of the games coming up for her?
Well, I think she enters the court just having a positive attitude, but at the same time, she knows that she has to step up because, I'm sure they want to reach the finals. So, we're nearing the end of elimination, so every point matters, and these kids know that they have to step up.
Before we go into the predictions here, the Final Four of Jamie La Victoria, Z, you had a chance to see this before. How do you feel about yung listahan na to ni Jamie?
I mean,
Oh my goodness.
parang kulang. I mean, di ba usually you give like 5, not 4.
Yeah.
Like, there seems to be some lacking element here, James.
Wait, I can say something. I have to.
Okay.
So, do I talk about
Yeah.
my? Okay, so my Final Four prediction is LaSalle, UST, NU, and then Adamson. But
Okay.
FEU still has a chance to
Okay.
make it. I mean, it boils down to the other teams and how they perform. But
Right.
what I've noticed in the past
Sorry, is
seasons,
that the order that you have it? Is that the
That's
order?
my order.
That's
Yep,
your
yep.
order as well. Okay.
And
Alright, go on.
guys, picturean nyo na, screenshot nyo na, tag nyo si Jamie.
don't come for me, guys. But what I've noticed in the UAAP history, sometimes there's always one upset. So, that could change, and FU can have a chance.
I mean, it ain't over till it's over.
yes.
Sabi nga
Sobrang
nila.
butas ng karayong though, Z.
Yeah, again, like what Jamie said, it's gonna be at someone else's mercy.
Yeah.
It's not entirely up to us. And what do you think, who do you think will surprise you in the next few rounds, Jamie? Among all teams, all 8 teams, is there something that you're still like looking forward to?
I would have a team that I would pick is probably Adamson because in terms of offense, it's there. I just think that there are moments where they can do better, like in their last match. It's so close. The game went to 5 sets, and I know that they can do more.
Yeah.
For sure.
You take a look at the prediction that you have. Of course, at UST at number 2 and at number 3. Is there any particular point here that you're probably not sure of or least sure of when it comes to the positioning? Like, what factor needs to fall right for this prediction to happen?
When I look at NU and UST, right, they play each other on Wednesday. You can't really gauge who's going to win that match, but what they both need to have is consistency. They have all the tools to have success, but it depends on how they wake up that day.
All right, guys, there you have it. Jamie La Victoria with her list, but
Oh my goodness.
a lot of explanations why.
Z is waiting for her outside the studio.
James, may nag-aabang sa labas.
Okay.
But thank you, Jamie, for
Thank
coming
you.
tonight.
Thank you.
All right, after the break, we've got a special edition of the NBA. Always a fan on the biggest legends and superstars in the Eastern Conference. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to the game. The NBA playoffs is where superstars shine and legends are born. NBA hype host and all-star analysts Mikey Reyes, Diego Dario, Isaac Go, and Meralco Bolts guard Aaron Black sat down to talk about the East in this special edition of Always a Fan.
What's up, guys? This is a special edition of the game. Why is it special? Because it's all about the NBA at may mga kasama tayo dito. The name is Mike Reyes nga pala. With me is Diego Dario. Isaac Go is over there. Aaron Black is over here. Lahat tayo. Ganda ng mga forma natin ngayon.
And of course, here, nakikita nga, sabi nga ni Mikey, we are rocking all these new jerseys from official NBA jerseys, by the way. And I want to know, why are you rocking this one, Isaac? Let's start off with you.
Ako na ununa na talaga.
Oh, inuna talaga namin.
The reason why I picked this because this is the special Diamond Edition of Giannis MVP. And ito lang ata yung jersey nakita mo may kasamang pirma.
Sure ka bang yan? Tatikumpo yan.
Pero Giannis fan ka talaga.
Giannis fan. You see the growth, you see the journey na talagang what you can achieve by putting your head down, focusing on basketball, making the main thing the main thing.
Oh, okay.
I like
Quotable
that.
quotes from Isaac Go. How about you? I see the VC throwback, yung the Raptors.
You kind of play the same, no, with VC, high flyer.
Ba't mo kinuking? Aga-aga, kinuking mo na. Isa pala, kinuking.
I've always been a VC fan, especially those early days with T-Mac. That was a great team. So growing up, I was a Toronto fan for the Eastern Conference. So.
And of course,
Ikaw, napakabakaw mo nito.
ito, AI. I mean, small guards.
Perfect for you.
Scorer. Pero ikaw, Mike, parang I don't wanna ask you why you're rocking
Jesus to bro!
Shuttlesworth, Ray Allen, shoot first.
Denzel!
No, hindi mo na kailangan ipasa yung bola, no?
Hindi na.
So,
Hindi, kailangan hindi. Dodos kasi ako minsan, di ba?
Oo nga.
Hindi na kailangan pumasa.
So, ipapasa ko sa'yo.
Papasahan ba kayo?
Hindi niya pinapasa yung bola na kasi.
Ito Ray Allen, di magpapasa. Okay, we're all wearing Eastern Conference
Muna
players
tayo.
and teams here. Ikaw, Isaac, who's your personal favorite current now in the East?
Halata ba? Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid. Two MVP contenders.
That's why, but Joel Embiid, I felt, was robbed last year. He finally deserves supposed to win at least one. But just his game, just his energy, attitude towards it, parang it's just really fun to
Do you
watch.
think he's winning it this year? I'm putting you on the hot seat, Isaac.
It's tough. I think so, though. I think so.
Let's see. Let's see. Babalikan natin yan. How about you? Who's your
I like Mr. 70, Donovan Mitchell. It's my guy. I do wear shoes, so I gotta be.
Right.
So Donovan, for me, I think he's been on a different level this year. Scoring 70 like we said, but he had that whole stretch I think where he had 40 points in 4 straight games. So he's been big time for Cleveland.
Go, Mike. Oh, Eastern
New
Conference.
York Knicks, Jalen Brunson.
Bakit?
Baliktad eh.
Alam mo kasi Jalen Brunson, bro, the lefty.
Oh, saan ba siya galing, Mike? If you
Mavs,
remember.
bro. Hindi mo ka Doncic yun, bro.
And then now, he's the main guy.
He's the main guy. He stepped up. He got paid. And he deserves to be in the playoffs. It's in a Julius run. Tapos, nandun din kasi si D-Rose. So,
Okay.
meron akong emotional investment kasi dito sa D-Rose.
Right. I mean, since nakuha mo na si Jalen Brunson, I'll go for Trae Young. I'm a fan of small guards who shoot a lot, who can control the pace. No, shoot a lot of threes, by the way. Shoot a lot of threes, not shoot a lot.
Oh man.
If you're a point guard, you gotta set things up. Which Trae Young does very well as well. Pero-
But he does lead the league.
In assists.
He
does,
does.
he
10
does.
point
Correct.
something
That's correct.
assists a game. Now that we're in the playoffs, I just want to ask, who do you think, in the East at least, someone wins a chip, sino yung pinakamabigat in terms of their legacy, in terms of their careers in the East?
I think firstly Embiid, because Embiid has
Embiid
not...
pa din.
Embiid pa rin, because
Ooh.
Embiid
Pa
has
din
not
talaga.
won an MVP.
Okay.
He's with Harden, who has not won a ring. So if he gets one, parang 2 Hall of Famers na yun eh. 2 people na...
And two birds in one
Oh,
I think
stone.
the better question is, do you think they have the chance to win a ring?
This guy standing in their way. This guy standing in their way.
How about you?
I'm gonna say Giannis.
Yeah.
Because if he wins, that puts you maybe in the conversation for the best power forward ever. No disrespect to Kevin Garnett or Tim Duncan, but this guy's been this past year, he's been dominating the league. And if you get 2 chips and probably 2 finals MVPs, he's gonna be on a different level.
And I'll go for the next one. Since you have Embiid, you have Giannis, I'll go for the Celtics. They just made it to the finals last year. So you have Tatum, Brown, there,
Nagawan ako dun.
Marcus Smart.
Bata pa eh.
Kaya inunahan ko na
Bata pa eh.
Bata pa, but I think it's gonna, say a lot about their careers, their legacy, if they win it early in their career. So
Especially after the way he played last. You know, he didn't really play that well in the final.
that's right. So it's a perfect time to bounce back for Jason Tatum. How about you,
I
Mike?
think I'm going with the team that lost it a couple of years ago, Miami Heat. Jimmy Buckets, di ba? We're talking about legacy, di ba tayo nagpe-predict?
Right.
Parang yun. Hindi, pero like,
Hot take.
I feel like Jimmy Buckets with the dog in him and all the young guys around him, I feel like if he gets a chip,
And of course, I think that Heat culture also is a proven,
Eric
proven
Spoelstra,
recipe.
di ba? Eric Spoelstra, man. He gets a chip without LeBron. That more or less you can't say anything about Eric Spoelstra anymore because at the end of the day, people say like, oh, he was coaching.
And if you notice, parang medyo old school the way they play, physical, they play defense. They don't shoot a lot of threes.
They don't.
Actually, right?
They don't. Especially now with Hero out.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox was awarded most clutch. Now in the East, 10 seconds to go. Down by 1. You're the coach. Who will you go to?
How about you?
Let's start with Jago. Let's start with Jago.
I might have to go with Donovan.
Dono.
I mean,
come on now.
he's the main guy. And if you take a look at the numbers also, I think Donovan's one of the most points in clutch, I guess, in the East. And I think he's the main guy. When in that Cleveland team, who are you gonna go to? You're gonna go to Darius Garland? No, you're not gonna go to Evan Mobley. You're gonna go to that guy, Donovan Mitchell. How about you, Isaac?
There's a reason why I'm wearing his jersey. I will go Giannis.
Layuan mo lang yan eh.
What if they pinabibigay lang yung 3? You think he's gonna shoot it?
Well, but when he gets down in that situation, you don't want to foul. Because not only that, because when Milwaukee puts a lineup, Brook Lopez is there, you don't want to help off him. Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, you're not going to help. But
I might foul.
I'm gonna foul.
You're not going to. Would
Put
you
him on the
foul?
line.
I'm gonna foul.
Put him on the line.
Giannis and then let
I
him
still
shoot 10 seconds before
trust me,
shooting the free throw.
And then, but then you're gonna miss. You got him, Brook Lopez, and Chris Middleton going at
You still go with Giannis.
That's why I wore
Made up into free throws.
letting
Easy
y'all
bucket
know,
two for
man.
Giannis. If you
Yeah.
don't foul
He's not
Giannis,
gonna foul.
easy bucket.
No one's gonna stop it.
Mahirap yun, ha?
2 free throws in the clutch. Mahirap yun.
Mahirap for
I'll probably go Jalen Brunson. This guy has been clutch recently. He is him.
He is him.
In New York, in the biggest stage, basically, New York is the fan base there is great, and I think he's really shown to be a clutch player. So
I think I'm going JT, Jason Tatum, just because he's basically unguardable. You're at his mercy. When he takes those shots, yung mga step back niya, side step niya, whatever, and he has a deep bag. Basically, you can't block him.
Right.
So all you can really do is hope he misses, challenge as much as you can, and hope he misses. That's true. That's one of the things that I look at in the clutch. If you can get a shot off.
And he can score in all levels.
All
3
levels.
points,
3 points.
mid-range, he can
Three-level
get you to the
scorer for
bucket.
and he's like 6'8", so
6'8",
it's tough to block that shot.
All right, we talked about the most clutch players in your minds, in your opinions. We talked about your favorite players in the Eastern Conference, and we can talk about this the whole day, but that's it for now in the Eastern Conference. Next time, we'll talk about the Western Conference. Thanks, guys.
Well, that was part 1 of our NBA Always a Fan special segment with our friends from the NBA Hype and NBA Philippines. Watch out for part 2 next week. Now, after the break, we'll hear an inspiring story about women in sports in the international basketball scene. Stay tuned, you're watching The Game.
Welcome back to the game. More women are taking center stage in the international sports scene, whether on and off the court. My partner, Zihar Vasho, got to speak to Japan Basketball Association Chairman Yuko Mitsuya about her trailblazing journey for women in sports.
What advice would you give to other women who actually aspires to become leaders in the sports industry, or especially in basketball?
何事も経験っていうのはすごく大切なので、失敗することも経験だし、できないってことを知るのも経験だし、でも経験がやっぱりどんどん人を大きくしてってくれるので、私もたくさんチャンスをいただいて、それをできなかったこともたくさんあるし、失敗したこともたくさんあるんだけれども、だから今があると思ってるので、やっぱり言えれば本当に言ったらどんどんチャレンジすべき。
That was Ms. Yuko Mitsuya, the Japan Basketball Association chairman, and of course, you had a chance to talk to her and get inspired by her and learn from her. What do you feel was your biggest takeaway from that particular conversation?
I think it wasn't necessarily confined to the sports industry in particular, but being women and putting yourself out there more in the workspace or whatever space you belong to is like a huge takeaway for me. It's very culture kasi sa atin na, women are more reserved than the men in our society, and it was very inspiring to hear from her, who was once a national team athlete for Japan in volleyball.
Yeah.
Kaya parang extra special yung interview na
So
yun.
does that mean you're gonna be part of the SBP very, very soon?
Nako guys, watch out.
Okay, so that is something to watch out for. And of course, you can find out more about women in sports through the FIBA Women in Basketball Forum. You can catch a live stream happening on April 29, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. via One Sports, One Sports Plus, Puso Pilipinas, and the Smart Sports Facebook page.
All right, before we say goodbye, Pao, and speaking of women taking over the world, taking over the international stage, I just want to shout out to my teammate, MJ Phillips, who got drafted today, earlier this afternoon, for the Korean Volleyball League. So, congrats and good luck, MJ. And that's all.
Congrats, MJ, and we can't wait to hear from you soon. Z will interview you.
For sure.
Yes, 100%.
All right, that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Zihar Vasho.
Catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Paulo Del Rosario, and this has been The Game.